Good evening all. I'm going to take a break from learning some lines for comic potential because we had a rehearsal yesterday. I was very good at it if you watched my video from yesterday. To tell you about something I've learned from this book, Awaken the Giant Within. Tony Robbins mentioned yesterday as well. It talks about cassettes and stuff, but also I'm going to link it in with something that I've seen on Stephen Bartlett's channel as well. But the paragraph that I'm looking at now in the Awaken Giant Within, how to change anything, something along those lines. And basically, Tony Robbins believes a lot in neo-linguistic programming, and that whole thing about your habits are neurotransmitters in your brains that have become kind of fortified and made stronger by the fact that we do this habit and that we keep repeating the same thing and that we do things. And that includes bad habits. So an example he gives about a guy having chocolate, smokers, people that eat too much. There's all these different things that we reinforce through bad habits. So that becomes automatic. Similar to the Chimp paradox that I posted on my highlights and on my book's highlights, is about if we feed something and it becomes entrenched in us, then that's something that we have to do. And then there's also The Happiness Trap, which is another book I've read, which looks at why we get stuck in a rut and why these certain things happen to us. What's interesting, so linking this in with Stephen Bartlett's video as well, that once you get stuck in something, and his video is about heartbreak and it's about looking after yourself, self-care, self-development, self-love, and basically looking at not focusing on the thing that's given you the pain in the first place. And what's really interesting reading Awaken the Giant Within is that Tony Robbins says to focus on that pain, because in order for us to move away from that, we need to know that there is no more pain to be had. It needs to be a pivotal moment for us to want to make that change and make that change immediate. And then what we need to look at is conditioning something else. And it's the something else that is the really key part of moving on with anything and breaking habits. We need to be able to reinforce new neurotransmitters in our brain. So if you make a decision that you want to stop doing something, it's all well and good saying, I'm going to stop doing this, but you need to replace it. You need to have something else that you're going to do repeatedly, and that you're going to refortify up these new neurotransmitters. And in order for us to actually make that change between, I should do that, or I shouldn't do that, and I really should eat less, I really should, is that we need to, first of all, catch that moment and be like, actually, I'm not going to have the bar of chocolate. So I've had a bar of chocolate, I'm not going to have another one. And then reward ourselves and say, yeah, I've done a really good thing there, and now I'm going to do something else. So there's something else for me at the moment, I suppose you could say, is making these videos, and I'm going to act on it, and I'm going to do it. Because even though it's very uncomfortable to begin with and it feels unnatural to a certain degree, I've been doing this for a little while now, on and off, is that I'm going to reward myself for the fact that I'm making this video in the first place. And if I reward myself immediately and not wait for some reflective, I'm glad I did that earlier, right now I'm feeling very good about myself, so I'm going to pat myself on the back because I'm doing something positive. I'm not dwelling on something that's negative, and because the thing that's negative has got to that painful point that I just can't do it anymore. So I'm jumping on that action, I'm doing something else, I'm refortifying neurotransmitters in my head, and I'm going to focus on that and not the other thing. And you need the pain of what you're currently doing to be worse than the pain of the unknown. So me doing these videos and sharing them out in the social media world is painful because it's vulnerable, it's embarrassing, it's what will people think, and all these different things. So it's easier to be like, oh no, I won't. But actually, I really do want to do it. And talking to Stephen Bartlett again, I was listening to one of his episodes, podcast in work today, where he talks about, why do I do this? I think he was up at 4:15 in the morning on a Sunday. And it's because he's got a legacy drive, well, he calls it his eulogy drive, or something along those lines. And it's his desire, it's what he wants to do. This is my desire, this is what I want to do. It's why I'm learning lines for a play, that's my desire, that's what I want to do. It's why I'm reading about Tony Robbins and wanting to share this with you, because it's my desire, very similar to Tony Robbins actually, that I want to help people. I want people that have gone through painful experiences to get out of them. I've had some painful experiences myself, which I didn't really well document, and looking back, perhaps it would have been helpful for some people. So I don't want that feeling of not being able to have shared that story to help other people now detract away from the fact that I'm still a human, I'm still dealing with whoever I am and helping people going forward. It's why I love my job at the minute with Activate Your Life, looking at acceptance and commitment therapy and learning about all these different psychological things that we can look at. So neo-linguistic programming, acceptance and commitment therapy, solution-focused approach. There's all these different things that I'm really involving my mind in and looking at how I can help as many people as I can, which sounds all very saviorish and things like that, and that's not exactly what I want. I just want people to feel, I want people to feel themselves. I want them to feel really, really content with who they are, because we're all wonderful. We're all wonderful, magical people. Was it George Ezra's song, Smile, Happy, Shining Happy People, or whatever it is? Something along those lines. I've only heard it twice. But we are, and I'm all for that. So that's what I'm focusing on. That's what I want to do more of, and I want to start sharing more about my experiences and what I'm reading and what I'm doing, because this book was written in 1995. The principles are still relevant today. It's a different market. It's a different area that we all live in because of things like Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all of that, but the principles are still the same. And that's what I like about the ACT message, acceptance and commitment therapy, with that whole mindfulness and being present, is that I don't need to worry about the future. I don't need to think about the past. Their experiences, their reference points, but if I want to choose to be something, I can choose to do that, and so can you. Have a good evening all. Bye bye.